This little video is about the origins of some of our favourite phrases in the English language. So I'm going to start off with bite the bullet. It looks like you're just going to have to bite the bullet on this one. This typically means to endure something painful or unpleasant. And the etymology is that in 19th century battlefield surgeries, i.e. the places where soldiers would go when they were unwell, they'd been hit, blah, blah, blah. When anesthesia wasn't available, soldiers were given bullets to bite to endure the pain. So yeah, bite the bullet. Next one, under the weather. This is actually one of my favourites. So in English, it obviously means, feeling ill. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. And the etymology is actually nautical in origin. So sailors who were really sick were sent below deck to escape the effects of the weather, which would obviously potentially exacerbate your illness. So if you were feeling ill, you were sent below deck so that the rain and the storms or intense heat that you might suffer on deck wouldn't affect you and your illness, and you could actually rest up. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather meant below deck and in recovery. Okay, so Saved by the Bell. This means kind of to be rescued at the last moment. One common myth is that it comes from the bells that were placed in coffins to prevent premature burial. And actually, they people were buried in these really elaborate coffins back in those days with cushioning inside of the coffin and a contraption that was kind of like a string, which would lead up to the top of the ground with a bell on it, so that if you did find yourself buried alive, you could pull on the string and somebody outside would come and rescue you, especially if they wanted to. If they didn't, they could just listen to the bell and wait till it stopped. So that was where they thought that Saved by the Bell came from. However, it didn't come from that, unfortunately. Obviously my preferred etymology. It came from 19th century boxing, where a fighter on the ropes could be saved, obviously, when the round bell rang. So yeah, it actually comes from boxing, where obviously the end of the round is when the bell rings. So yeah, Saved by the Bell. Break the ice. This means to kind of initiate conversation or ease tension in a social setting. So in the 16th century, ships would often break the ice in harbours to make it easier for other ships to pass through. The term was used metaphorically to describe breaking the initial awkwardness in social situations, much like the literal breaking of the ice, easing the things that come next. Ships plus socialising. What an icebreaker. Kick the bucket. Obviously means in English to die. The theories are thus: a beam or yoke called a bucket was used to hang animals for slaughter. But the main theory, which is the prominent theory, is that, obviously, before people were hanged, they would stand on top of a bucket, tie the rope around their necks, and obviously then somebody would kick it away, or they would kick it away, depending on who was doing the suicide, or the murder. So kicking the bucket, a very plausible etymology for this little phrase. Mad as a hatter means completely insane. So this one's really nice. In the 18th and 19th century, hat makers used to use mercury nitrate in felt production. And mercury poisoning's no joke. It causes tremors, speech problems, and psychosis, literally driving hatters mad. So it's a real occupational hazard turned idiom, mad as a hatter. A little bird told me, someone told me a piece of gossip or information. And this is because, notably in the Bible, but in general literature of yore, birds were seen as messengers, secret messengers. So when a little bird told you something, it was a secret messenger tipping you off. This is quite a nice one. Pulling strings. So this means kind of like using your influence or power to get things done, or, do someone a favour. The origin comes from the idea of puppetry, where a puppeteer pulls strings to control a puppet. And over time, it naturally evolved to mean something like having influence behind the scenes, Pulling strings. I like it. I can use my influence to control this situation. So there you have it, the origins of some well-known English phrases that you may or may not have wanted to learn about today. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and learn about some more linguistic tidbits in the future. Because why not? Because sharing is caring. Because I might make another video. Thanks very much.